Morning, guys. All right, injuries for today. Jimmy Garoppolo, foot, will not practice. Kevin Givens, knee, no practice. McCaffrey, ankle and knee, will not practice. Aaron Banks, ankle and knee, no practice. Kinlaw, knee, no practice. Greenlaw, back string, no practice. Bosa and Trent, not injury related, won't practice. Armstead, foot, ankle, limited.
Is that knee added to, we only heard ankle the other day for Christian?
He's had that on there every day
Okay.
for the last month. That's why I usually limited these days.
Are you opening the window today for Elijah Mitchell?
Yes.
Kyle, how did you address the players in terms of Hamlin's situation?
We did it as a team, saw a bunch of them individually on Tuesday, talked to a couple on what's going on Monday night. All the guys had it in their individual meetings. In our team setting, we didn't do it though, because we kind of did all one-on-one, but we made our doctor, our clinician, he's usually here on Tuesdays for a little bit. We made him available all day. A lot of players used it. I think we found out. Most of them used it for their wives and people like that. A lot of our players were, they were doing all right, but I think the wives used it the most.
But was there a common theme of the players or concerns that you heard them express or heard of them expressing?
Not really. They said how sad it was, and just seeing it, I think that's just the way they looked at it. I thought they thought it was a pretty freak thing, and just how unfortunate the kid was. And I think everyone was emotional about it, but none of the guys stressed me any concerns about what they do.
I remember when you guys were in Arizona, you said there were certain players that you kept an eye on specifically, just that it was taking a toll on mentally and emotionally. Is this a similar kind of thing? Are there certain people you have in mind that you want to keep a closer eye on?
No, I don't think so. I think maybe if someone had a personal relationship with them, you would seek them out more than everyone. I think when it initially happens and you're not sure why or anything, you want to look into everyone. I think, by the time we got with them today, we spent a day and a half just talking over the phone. I think they were in a pretty good spot with it, just understanding of it and everything, and knowing how unfortunate it was for DeMar. But I think our guys, it's the saddest someone can be, but they're managing.
From your own perspective, put yourself in McDermott's shoes in terms of how you might react in that kind of situation. How you thinking through what you would do?
When I saw it, first shoes I put myself in was his parents' shoes. That's all I could think of. Like, holy cow! I really hope his parents aren't watching this like I am. I hope they're there. That was my biggest concern. And I think I read that his mom was there, but somebody that's close to him wasn't, and that's the stuff I couldn't imagine. I could not imagine seeing someone I knew, a friend, a kid, sitting there like that, and he not knowing what's going on. And I thought that was the most traumatizing thing. I think from a coach, just watching those coaches, I think they handled it as good as you could. I don't think there is any way necessarily to handle it, but just to sit there and pray and be with all the people. And I think it was bound to get canceled. Everyone, I think, obviously that was going to happen, and you don't know at the time, but you're not sitting there as a coach really thinking about that stuff. Your concerns are totally with the kid, and you listen to what they tell you after that, but you're not sitting there trying to think of a game plan or anything like that. I think when something like that happens, whether you're the coach, whether you're the players around, whether you're someone in the stands, whether you're watching on TV, that's when your mind is probably as clear as it can ever be, because there's only one thing that matters, and that's life or death. And when you're watching a life or death situation, I think your mind is extremely clear, because that's the one time, like, when I've been around people who've lost people real close to them, they're grieving, they're wrecked, but it's usually times people know what's important, because you get reminded that, and that's all you're thinking in that moment. You can see that on everyone's faces strong.
Is there anyone with the team go over with the players what the protocols are in cases like that where heart stops beating? Was anybody curious about?
No one asked me that. They could have asked our doctors, so they all, the guys who we're concerned met with. But yeah, no one asked me.
How do you guys get back to work? Is it as much as it can be, business as usual, or how do you go about this week?
You gotta do your job, you know, I think everyone does, you know, whatever that is, and it's real rough, it's real sad, but you gotta work too, you know, so that's what guys do, and you try to be there for each other, and I really heard for that team specifically, because of, knowing how many guys must have such close relationships there, but you try to be there for everyone.
Was part of the concern that that game was gonna continue because players were warming up a little bit? How is this game gonna actually continue?
I mean, sure. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't there talking to the guys, and I don't think we just watched on TV. I wasn't watching it, so I didn't know what was going on. And then when someone told me to look on, all I saw was facial expressions, and those facial expressions looked like something extremely tragic happened. So you didn't really know. You're just wondering what happened, and then you kind of put it together, and you start to think, all right, there's no way this is going on. And then they go into the locker room and kind of assume it's a matter of time before everyone figures that out. And I think it did. I mean, I think they did, whoever did. But I mean, I think it has happened in the past that I've heard of, but I don't ever remember it happening. So I think everyone's kind of waiting, what happens. And the main thing is they try to save the person's life, and it sounds like they're still trying to do that. And so I'll pray that happens.
Do you know either of those coaches at all? Well, Kyle and did you
Not
speak
real
with
well.
Jack,
I mean, they're
right?
both really good guys. I've gotten to spend the last couple of years with them when we go to the owners' meeting and stuff and hang out with them. I know they're very faith-based guys. I know they're very good people, very family-oriented people, and I don't know them great, but what I do know of them, there's two as good of people who could have been in that situation.
Did you send them a text or anything like that?
No, I
They
haven't.
don't-
Yeah, I don't know them like that, but probably should. They did a hell of a job.
And you've got, I mean, I know there's some talk, some people suggesting that the game should be impacted this coming week, but have you received any kind of indication that, you know, your game is gonna be any time other than 1:25 PM on Sunday?
Yeah, no, we haven't been told anything differently, so what's going on with business as usual in terms of where our game is.
You guys don't have to make any practice adjustments because of the weather this week, or?
Yeah, we're gonna go in our indoor.
Is that right? Good.
I'm gonna put plastic over my script and put a hood over my hat.
All that practice in Soldier Field's gonna pay off.
That's right. This is what's for.
30 or 40 years ago, this team used to, it would rain a lot, and the team would go to LA or to Arizona to practice. Are those, I mean, have those scenarios been discussed at all about contingency plans if it does rain for an extended period here?
I discussed them a lot when I first got here. And I was told it never rains. I didn't believe it for a little bit, and then after a couple of years, I'm like, I guess they're kind of right. I've been nervous like once a year, and it ends up not being too bad. Kind of testing that right now. So it is what it is. You know, at least this time of year, we're not always going full speed and stuff like that. You know, there's no lightning and stuff, so as long as you don't mind getting wet, it's just a distraction test. And it's always better if you never want it to rain on game day, but you're gonna practice in it all week. Or if you know it's gonna rain on Sunday, you might as well practice in it, so that's the way it's looking right now. I told them the same thing last week though, and told them we were expecting rain in Vegas. They all told me there was a dome. They didn't know I was being sarcastic, but you hope it ties in well, but worry about what you can control and just practice.
You can't say about JJ Watt over his career. Get back to see that.
One of the best players I've ever gone against. I mean, we talk about MVP type players. I mean, he would definitely one of the guys, you know, talked about that with Nick about those a couple weeks ago. Aaron Donald always, JJ. In my first year as a coordinator, my first game against someone was James Harrison. That was the year he won MVP and beat Arizona in the Super Bowl. And I remember how he was specifically, and I've always looked at JJ that way. I mean, different from the position he's at. It was always so hard to block him. It was so hard to game plan him, just on how to help out with the 5 technique. What you do with the tight end, and you put your halfback on big 3-4 backers, and he was just such a hard guy that whether it was run or pass game, to kind of take out of the game because of where they could position him and how big and strong he was and how smart he played, and that's why he's one of the best players I've seen.
Do you have people assigned this week to start work on possible first round playoff matchups?
No, we don't. Everyone's working on this stuff, and we always look at things and look at what teams do and have a good idea of it. I might have picked a couple other teams yesterday, but you do that for a little bit. It was nice to give the players Monday off because it gave us, not yesterday, on Monday, gave us a little bit more time and use that looking at a couple other things, but we'll get to that Sunday night.
And how interested were you just to see what games are in which time slots, Saturday and Sunday?
I was pretty interested, yeah, just to kind of have an idea what you know going into games and stuff. I mean, if we had nothing to play for and stuff, I'd definitely take care of guys a lot more with 1 week to go. We got a lot to play for.
I mean, there's a scenario, obviously, with the Vikings playing in 10, and then Philly playing the same time you guys are playing, that, midway through that game, you'll have a pretty good idea if you can help yourself or not. Is that something that you talk about in advance, or is it something you plan for in advance, or is it kind of like, handle it organically as it happens?
I mean, I think about a lot of that stuff. I don't talk about it all. We'll see how it plays out. We'll see what the situation is. And I know one thing, we would love to be the 1 seed, but right now we got the 2 seed, and we want to make sure we at least stay the 2 seed. In order to do that, we need to win. Maybe if Minnesota lost before us, that wouldn't be the case, but counting on us having to win to get that, and we're not going to know until the game's over whether we have a chance at the 1 seed. So the way it plays out, to me, there's only one thing that guys should be worried about, and our team should be talking about, and that's beating Arizona.
Will you be getting score updates of the Philly game during the game, or do you not want to get that sort of thing?
No, I don't really like people getting on that, doing that. I might look at the scoreboard here and there for replay and fall into the score, but we'll see.
Kyle,
Take 2 more guys.
Kyle, there was on the first attempt play, I think it was the last touchdown drive, when Purdy avoided the sack, and pressure coming from his left side, and he kind of flipped around, threw the ball out of bounds. Looked like it missed the hot read, but he ended up with a play that, lived to see another day in this kind of situation. As a coach, when you have a young player like that, as smart as he seems to be, do you correct that one a lot, or do you let it go and don't want to cloud his mind too much, given where you are in the season?
No, you always correct that stuff. I mean, especially when they're bringing someone that you don't have a blocker for. That stuff can change based off of where our center is sliding, which sometimes you don't always know coming out of the huddle. That can be on a number of things, where we position our hot routes, where the motions are, where a player is we're trying to go to, where we think the blitz is going to. And sometimes that stuff changes, and if the quarterback doesn't know that exactly, you're going to get surprised. And what's been cool about Brock, when he does get surprised, he's got the quickness and stuff to sometimes be able to get out of it, and he did that and was able to save it not being a bad play. But you can't always count on making that guy miss, so you want to make sure that when someone blitzes, there's usually a hole in the defense right there, and that's usually where a hot throw is. And if you know that, you can decisively replace that blitzer. You're going to get into someone's hands with usually time to run, and that's the way when they do that on 1st and 10. Usually it's 2nd and 2 instead of 2nd and 10, and that's what you're going to always do. And when it doesn't work, he's got other clubs in his bag.
Brent, last one.
You said he's been coached hard this whole season, but as he's shown he can do what he can do, and I'm sure there are higher expectations for him now. Can you coach him? I don't know, harder is the right word, but maybe coach him differently because he's reached this level and you say, okay, let's try to push to this level.
Yeah, you see what a guy's capable of, and I mean, you don't want to keep asking guys to do stuff they can't do. I hated when my coach kept asking me to run faster, but you start to see how a guy plays, and I mean, Brock knows how to play the position and stuff, and he's hard on himself. So when you coach someone, you want them to get better, whether you're right, wrong, or whatever. It's just about getting someone better, and sometimes you gotta understand the personality of someone, and even if you're saying the right coaching point, some people don't hear it the right way, and sometimes it can mess them up. So you got to find a way to get it to them. And just working on his personality, it's been real easy because I don't really have to worry about how he's feeling that much. You just tell him what you see because that's what he wants. I mean, he likes to be coached. He's smart. He kind of has an idea of our philosophy on stuff, so he's going to watch it on his own. By the time he gets to me, I think he has an idea of what I'm going to say. But the more he plays, the more stuff that comes up, and I don't care how good a quarterback plays. You can sit there and coach him on everything all the time. Remember when I used to meet Matt Schaub on the bus after we'd land somewhere, and we'd always watch the game on the plane, and I'd go sit by him and I would be like, all right, man, you did play really good, except for plays 9, 12, 13. And he'd always, well, what about the plays I played good on? I'm like, those don't matter. That's what we expect. And that isn't, but when you have guys who just want to be coached and you don't need to tell them 10 compliments before you tell them a coaching point, then it's a lot more fun. And I think that's how it gets better.
What was your 40 time?
4-2. I was raised by a coach, and so every single time that the 40 came up in spring, my hamstring was too tight to run it 5 years in a row. So I would never let anyone get that on paper. But I was always good enough to run the show.
All right, guys,
All
appreciate
right,
it.
guys. Thanks.